Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to Absiror Reviews, where today we have ourselves an album from an act named Justin Abisror, and this is Frogpop. If we switch over to here, we have the art for it, which is actually pretty incredible. It would have taken a while to get this all set up for this photo shoot. It's got the artist here, you know, it's his frog hat, and he's got bubbles in his shoes, and we've got like the wall with the bubbles and the froggy stuff. We've even got it's interesting art to be sure, and we've got what? We've got 8 tracks. We've listened to Trust in Justin before, which was pretty dope, and we're gonna be listening to this at this next release. Got 8 tracks this time, so we're gonna listen to this album from start to finish, and we're gonna hear what we think. Let's start with Paper Planes. Let's go. Put the album art up. There we go. I'm liking how filter work. It's very.
I don't want no paper planes. I just want the empire.
That was an interesting vocal melody there. It was. Just the way it came in with those really kind of sinister synths and sound like that, it was a little bit unsettling, but we'll see where we go.
The whole wide world, see all the things I bought. I never look at them. That's how you treated me all the time. Don't wanna waste your time. Just gonna take what's mine. What did I do? Yeah, that you're so upset. Is it the fact that I left and now you want me back?
Is it the fact that I left and now you want me back? It's almost like they're having some sort of altercation or a showdown or something like that with these really tense string sections and
I got no problems.
with these overdriven 808s and stuff like
Got 'em
that.
all. If I don't need my car anymore, I just crash it into a wall.
If I don't need my car anymore, I just crash into a
no
wall.
paper planes, I just want the empire. And you just wanna see me fall. Do you see these light blue veins? They define if you can reign. Yeah, I just got them all. I was thinking about what you can do while I'm at my house.
You've got these overdubbed vocals, and there's kind of there's no other chromatics in that vocal melody. I'm just trying to sort of ascertain
Swimming in
that.
my pool. Look at all these fans. They're just here for me. Baby, that's the dream. Can you hear them scream? What did I do, yeah? That I got so rich.
Damn, we got a whole lot of production value going on here with these multiple vocal layers and sort of delays on some of them, and some of these builds in the backing section with some foley or just some really ominous pads. And it's helping to refamiliarize myself with Justin's work. I remember Trust in Justin was like I could still remember some tracks from Trust in Justin, which is not something I could say for all the albums that I listened to, like Toontown and what else do we have? What else do I remember? But yeah, you know, like Good Night, Sleep Tight and Big Bugs Bite and stuff like that. It was a good time, to be honest. It was a good time.
Is it the fact that I left cause you were such a bitch? Were you here for the money? Or were you here for the fame?
Were you there for the money or were you there for the fame? It's an interesting. Hang on, sorry, Music Bee's having trouble kind of figuring out where it wants to put the album art. So like, is this kind of when you talk about Paper Planes, I Want the Empire? It's like there's this ambition that Justin has, and this other person kind of didn't really take it as seriously as they needed to, and now they've lost out. Or maybe they took him for granted and now they want back in, and Justin's like, no, I don't want that.
Wait, I don't really care, cause in the end it's just the same.
There is like a sense of disdain in the attitude of the performance, and I think it reflects accurately on what the sort of lyrics are telling.
No paper planes, I just want the empire. And you just wanna see me fall. Do you see these light blue veins? They define if you can reign. Yeah, I just got them all.
It's pretty aggressive stuff. Like, there's some really harsh tonalities within this song, like with this kind of dubstepish kind of synth, but without the low end on it, because you've got that bass and low end in there already. I mean, these are calculated decisions that are made by Justin here. Like, you can tell they've been EQ'd in a certain way to stand out in the mix. It's a little bit, it's a little bit experimental. I'm not used to this many different elements being in a song of a genre like this, but I think it's important for Justin to experiment, and I'm glad that he is. You know, like, when I review albums, I know I'm pausing a lot, I'm sorry about that. When I review albums, my job is to go, okay, does what listening to relate to the lyrics? Or how is there a sort of stylistic cohesion between these bits? And you kind of got to use your imagination to explain parts like this, because when there's no words guiding you along or hand holding you, you've got to look for something else to kind of... Like, it's mixed well. It's interesting. That was a very gutsy intro single to a record. You know, like, Justin, I think the assumption being made here, from what I can tell, is that Justin is assuming that his fan base was already comfortable with his work and now wanting more of it, and then potentially more on top of what they've already gotten. And I just like having that kind of that sort of synth section at the end remind me of turntablism, and it was kind of dope, actually, for real. Like, I'm trying to balance out any critique I have of this. Literally, so far, the only sort of confusion I have is around why certain parts are there, but I think maybe we'll get more of the context within the album. Although, to be fair with Trust and Justin, each of the tracks had their own sort of identity, and so you had the situation where, like, it was like an individual thing as opposed to being a chronological like collection of a story being told across an album. Although I could have also be wrong there, I could have misinterpreted it. We've got Levitating featuring Shiro and Junior High. And just before we leave Paper Planes, I've seen stuff like, I wasn't sure about this album at first, because I saw like Levitating, like Paper Planes, and Uptown Funk, and Shake It Off, and Shape of You. And I was thinking, wait, those sound like songs I've heard before, song titles. But I think that this is, these are obviously originals. And I think that's really dope. It's kind of gets you thinking, doesn't it? It's cool. Levitating, featuring Shiro and Junior High, let's go. Yeah, again, a very different experience to Paper Planes. Nice. Nice filter work there.
Dark night, thought you were my only light. Shining so bright, lit my face, made our flame ignite. Couldn't run free, burning me, holding on so tight. I don't wanna cry, I just wanna fly away. Clip my angel wing.
The way I love his attitude, dude. I love the laissez-faire. Like, I know he cares about the music because of the production value, because of the care that he puts into his lyrics, because of the care and attention to the authenticity of his performance as a vocalist. But at the same time, I adore the freedom that he has to just do what the hell he wants. And he's, you know, even though he's paying attention to certain parts of music theory and sort of compositional, like, it's just, I love that. I love that he's doing what he's doing.
Soft said that it was weighing me down. Bring me back in time. I would tell myself you're gonna drown. Running for the hills, take me back, stuck down on the ground. I don't wanna cry, I just wanna fly away. The clock keeps ticking.
Again, like, we're paying attention to like finishing on the similar set of lines to you know, like, I want to fly away, that part there. You know, we were coming back to that even as we tell the story, and we're keeping a similar sort of melodic progression with sequence with the vocals. And we've got that same musical thing that's kind of continued, like similar to Paper Planes. I don't think there was a whole lot of change necessarily in the chord progressions or the bass line. Different instruments came in. Don't get me wrong, there were differences in the textures and timbres of the overall sort of sound of the track, but there's one sort of main theme that Justin keeps with, and I adore Levitating. It's by far, like, I love the vibe of it, man. It's so gentle. It sounds like you're floating. It kind of reminds me of Ape Escape, which is a game on the PS1 and some of the music on that.
Time keeps going, circling around around, never-ending loathing. But I'll say goodbye for good and forever. I swear to God I am never coming back. I'm levitating up, I just feel so alive. I think I've grown up, but I'll never die. All I wanna do is enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night.
Kind of like what I'm kind of taking from this track is you could take it as being an extension of Paper Planes where he's talking about never coming back, but it could just because he's just high on life, man, or whatever else. I ain't gonna judge. It's super cool though, man. I love it.
I just feel so alive. I think I've grown up, but I'll never die. All I wanna do is enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night.
All I want to do is enjoy these highs. All I want to do is enjoy this night. Yeah, the vibe of being at a party or something like that and just having good times with people, you know, it's great. It's good stuff. It's reflected here, man. Like, you got some lovely oscillated sort of LFO kind of synth colorations with the pads and wah, wah, wah. And you've got like the kind of the trappy kind of drums and hi-hats with the 808 bass. And then that. Dude, just these builds, this filter work is just so on point.
I'm levitating up, I just feel so.
That textural shift with the vocals there and that sort of midsection there was fantastic. Very, very different to Justin. It makes it easy to understand who's saying what in the mix. Even though the vocals were sort of talking more about the situation of flying and not wanting to come back down and just enjoying the moment. You had that distinct change with that sort of vocal modulation there, which was super dope.
I think I've grown up, but I'll never die. All I wanna do is enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night. Levitating up, I just feel so alive. I think I've grown up, but I'll never die. All I wanna do is enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night.
Feel every part of yours in me, cause when you touch me, I feel like I can't breathe. Maybe it's cause of the drugs I deal, but boy, your kiss hits harder than heroin. I see you everywhere I go. I bust it up and slow it down as you roar. Consent, bang me around
I love this how it's becoming all sort of like messed up and sort of just delayed and distorted here. Again, another sort of vocal texture to the mix. I'm appreciating the double tracking and the vocal layering going on here. The stereo panning of that, the singing here is fantastic. Great choice for this compilation here, you know, like, and keeping this track like this under 4 minutes is just it's just really good for him, you know, because that 2 to 4 minute is the sweet spot with singles like this.
I'm levitating up, I just feel so alive. I think I've grown up, but I'll never die. All I wanna do is enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night. Levitating up, I just feel so alive. I think I've grown up, but I'll never die.
I think I've grown up, but I'll never die. So that feeling of immortality when you get to that sweet spot and you're like, yeah, no, this is it. This is forever, you know what I mean? It's really dope. I love this kind of sounds sort of like a sort of a Nirvana has been accomplished or something like that. It's magical. It's mystical. It's almost sort of like unbelievable. It's again, this is just what the music is communicating, and it's really well done.
Enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night. Levitating up, I just feel so alive. I think I've grown up, but I'll never die. All I wanna do is enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night. Levitating up, I just feel so alive.
And removing some elements here for the outro.
But I'll never die. All I wanna do is enjoy these highs. All I wanna do is enjoy this night.
It's nice to have like the other vocalists come in for this outro part as well, just to kind of like remain a part of it. It's really cool. Nice delay with that as well. The effects change pretty on point. Really pretty melody though. Again, obviously very different to Paper Planes again. So this might not necessarily be a chronological order, but it sort of reminds me of just how wide Justin's sort of like ranges in regards to the content he approaches and the emotional sort of like stuff he tries to tackle within it. And it's dope, man. Levitating was a great track. It highlighted the best features of the musicians involved. Yeah, two pretty strong tracks, very different. Hip hip hooray. There's like a going on there that's nice and fresh sound. Got a bit of a crackle to it. Where are we going with this though? Oh, Foley.
The wind blows on sigh of relief. Sticky situation in the simulation jurisdiction. Let's make a decision. No restrictions. Absorb radiation. Conversations with the Federation about conservation. Give me a sensation. Transformation. All the admiration.
Okay, like if we just take a step for the minute there, that sing rapping there, that melodic rapping was pretty on point. Like it came through clearly, pronounced well, no stumbling, man. It was quick. It's quick. We're not like talking like rap god levels quick, but like, for the purpose there, like to go for a 16th note kind of groove within that, to go alongside the what do we have in that section there? Like if we move this for a sec. Oh, thank you, Music B. Thank you. So if we go here.
Radiation conversations with the Federation.
We had some hi-hats.
Conservation, give me a sensation. Transformation.
A whole lot of synth work going on with pads and melodies and stuff like
The
that.
admiration. La 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 la.
Hip hip hooray.
Talking till we're lovers at the
Oh, hip hop hooray. Oh, no, I'm gonna have to re-record that. Hip hop hooray. Nice.
day. So drop top and frog pop and hip hop hooray.
Hip hop hooray. Nice. I'm gonna have to like yeah, okay.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Frog until we're lovers at the end of the day. So drop top and frog pop and hip hop hooray.
Oh, I get it. So we're kind of harking back to the Frogpop, which is the album here, and we're kind of sort of describing the life on lily pads and just kind of goofing around. That's pretty cool.
Down the stream. Stream.
It's good to know that we're coming back to this. It's like the Frogpop, a vibe of the kind of relaxed, chilled out sort of work ethic, going past the Paper Planes. Maybe we went from where we were in Paper Planes, like, and then we're now in a state of just trying to find peace within our lives.
When you're the fucking great regime.
Oh, what?
I'm independent, but there's no I in team. Team.
I'm independent, but there's no I in team.
Team. Take that, rub it in. Essential oil cream. Cream. Digging deeper holes in the life I chose. All you need are friends and your webbed toes. We can do fondue when we dip in the pond. You can be the pig and I will be the pawn. La 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 la.
Of course.
La 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 la.
Have you got like a kind of distorted sort of guitar kind of synth?
La 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 la. Frog until we're lovers at the end of the day. So drop top and frog pop and hip hop hooray. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Having these kind of froggy kind of like puddle sounds and frog noises and all that does kind of help sort of bring it all together. I was wondering when the frog pop was going to come into
Frog
it.
until we're lovers at the end of the day. So drop top and frog pop and hip hop hooray. Sticky situation in the simulation jurisdiction. Let's make a decision. No restrictions. Absorb radiation. Conversations with the Federation about conservation. So drop top and frog pop and hip hop hooray. Sticky situation in the simulation jurisdiction. Let's make a decision. No restrictions. Absorb radiation. Conversations with the Federation about conservation. So drop top and frog pop.
There's a lot going on with that particular section vocally, yeah, with the ideas about it. So it kind of like, it's like we're going in our own heads and we're trying to sort of like, kind of like thinking about all the stuff that's going on, you know, like troubles in the simulation, what we're ruminating about stuff. And then finally it's just like, no, I don't want to think about this anymore. Hip hop, hooray, dope. You know, like any of the issues that we have, we can get by them by simply trying to sort of like celebrate and going la 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 la. Yeah? Or am I completely missing the ball on this? Am I? Probably. Probably misunderstanding it, but that's fine. Hip Hop Hooray! Track number 3. Nice and short, 2.5 minutes. Again, paying careful attention to make sure none of these are over that 4-minute mark. It's just clever stuff nowadays. You can't assume people are going to have the attention. This isn't me being sort of like facetious or kind of mean-spirited. It's just, it's a lot to ask someone to listen to a song longer than 4 minutes nowadays. You know, people are, you know, as the stereotype goes, people nowadays are attention poor or time poor. So to have these songs fit into that tiny chunk is good. The song was engaging throughout. There was no filler material, as the same with these two. No filler material. And it was nice and fresh sounding. Had its own distinct sort of identity to match the fact that it was discussing different things there. There was a bit more depth in there that I think I've come across, but I'll have a listen to this later on because, of course, these tracks have replay value. Well done so far. Nearly to the halfway point with Lucid Dreams. And this is a lot more gentle than we had with Paper Planes, though.
Ready to fly in your minds. I've just been waiting for that look in your eyes. Call me crazy, but I know what's behind. This time we're gonna have a good life. Falling angels and a picture of their faces. Wild adventures, 'cause we're here for a ride.
Wild adventures because we're here for a ride. Mentioning angels and all these other things, like, I wonder what story he's trying to tell. I wonder what the overarching theme of this track is going to be.
Feeling the time passing somewhere outside, 'cause we don't really know what that's like. Holding your hand, feel the air on my face, and never thought you sent me to Lucid Dreams.
Okay, that was a pretty sick kind of make this the needle stop on that LP there. I dig it. Lucid Dreams. I'm assuming Lucid Dreams is maybe not where you want it to go, or is this whole thing a dream sequence? Was Frogpop, was Hip Hop Hooray a dream sequence? Like, is Levitating part of that as well? Was the relationship a dream? Like, or was it a nightmare? Like, I guess we'll find out.
Feels so real. I've been flying now for a long time. Holding your
Oh, so this is what describing pretty well what it's like to sort of have one of those really intense dreams where you feel like things are actually happening in it. Like, it feels like real life. Yeah, I understand it now. So, like, there's this person that's arrived in this person's dreams, and they've been dreaming for a long time, and finally they've met this person that they're quite into.
traveling in paradise, didn't know I could fly. Lucid Dreams.
That like bass sequence said dun 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 dun. Like that's kind of sick, man. I like how it's holding the groove with the hi-hats on the drums.
And with you by my side, talking
And then
your
another
praise,
build
little
there.
flower bouquet, and a cop walks around with a big smile, hunting the stars, going to Neverland, following Peter Pan. Call me crazy, but I know what's behind. Hold my hand, it's gonna be a good night.
Oh, hang on, what is this? Again, this is some really trippy experimental electronic stuff, and I adore it. You just don't know what's going to happen next with this guy. You know, like, I would sort of venture to say that this isn't through composed, because I know that we have choruses and verses and that kind of stuff, and we have repetition of like A and B sections. But at the same time, the shifts and adjustment within this are almost to say that it's through. I don't know, man.
Good night.
A good night.
Flying in your mind. Ooh.
Oh, it's starting to become really unnerving, isn't it?
Dream, need your lips right on mine. Feels so
Yeah, like, again, like, with this vocal melody, you know, if I was being really sort of, like, pedantic about it, I'd be like, the way that he's composing these vocal melodies, is he paying attention to the triads of the chords? Is he paying attention to the root notes? It's like he's got a specific melody he wants, and he's got a way of brute forcing mine. Yeah, so he's going with a fifth harmony there.
Real, I've been flying now for a long time.
Yeah, like again, like he might not perfectly get the notes every time, but he does land on them, and like the adventure is interesting whilst he does it. He has a nice enough vocal timbre to his that are like, even if like he was to deliberately hit chromatic notes and like maybe have them a quarter tone off, sure there'd be a bit of dissonance, but it wouldn't be something that was completely game changing. In fact, given like the complexity of the orchestrations and compositions and how he just likes to mess with the listener's expectations, it could even be forgiven as being a part of the
Traveling in
experience.
paradise, didn't know I could fly. Lucid dreams, and with you by my side. Talking airplanes, little flower bouquet, and a cop walks around with a big smile. Hunting the stars, going to Neverland, following Peter Pan.
Like there's some interesting stuff going on here, like talking about Peter Pan and like other characters within the stream. Like it makes me wonder whether he's talking about his own personal experience or if he's sort of like describing a scene that's similar to it. It does sound like a very interesting dream though. Or it could also be metaphorical. I don't know.
But I know what's behind. Hold my hand, it's gonna be a good night.
Again, like he likes I think what it is that he does this legato or portamento where he goes like that he takes his time and he doesn't try to rush the transitions between notes. So there could be like an occasion where there's a slight dissonance chromatically, but like he gets to the point he needs to. So that's good. That's nice. He's just a very freeform vocalist, and I haven't listened to a lot of singers like him before, so that's cool. That's cool. You know, we've got Uptown Funk, which is not to be confused with the Bruno Mars one. That is very loud on my headphones.
1 a.m. I wanna call it quits, cause 2 damn early and I'm only playing hits. I'm 3 drinks deep, make 'em 4 bucks deep, and fuck all my problems, I ain't about solve 'em. Go uptown to feel alive, the party starts when I arrive. Crash my car, now I won't miss it, I ain't asked for your permission.
He talked about crashing his car earlier on, didn't he, in Paper Planes? Is he harking back to that? In fact, before we go forward with Uptown Funk, there's one thing I want to talk about real quick before you go there. Like,
Traveling in paradise, didn't know I
that part here, right?
flying in your mind.
I'm trying to understand the context of this because this is an extended section. Is this just more of a lucid dream and he's dreaming more and more of this person? I suppose that's the way I can understand why this would be put in here. Initially, when I listened to this in this track, I was like, wait, why are we so suddenly going back into that chorus like that without a development of that last chorus? But I think it's just, maybe this is just a repeating thing as a part of his life. Again, I haven't really spoken about the mixing and mastering yet beyond simply saying that I agree with it. And that's primarily because this is some of the best music production I've heard from like an independent artist throughout my reviews. Like without fail, like it's genuinely incredible stuff. It's just so unconditionally interesting. It sounds fresh. There's just always there's unexpected elements there. Like if we have a song like Levitating, like even like Lucid Dreams, we have that severe distortion there at some parts, and it just you don't see that coming. Do you know what I mean? Like if we go like, where was it? It was here, right?
Call me crazy, hold my hand, it's gonna be a good night.
Exactly. Like where did you expect that? Do you know what I mean? Like it's the last thing I'd expect in a track like this where it's instantiated. There's like a gentle run with those kind of eighth note grooves on the percussion and those kind of synth strings and all that. Yeah. But back to Uptown Funk. I like that kind of semi-reggaeton kind of, oh, that's so loud. Like, I feel like I'm getting older because that's incredibly loud in the headphones. But the same thing is, it's not loud necessarily because, like, it's been over-mastered or whatever, because it actually sounds like it's been fairly well mastered. It's not pumping into headphones or anything like that. It's just a very careful attention has been paid to getting the different individual like frequency spectrums to kind of balance out evenly across the headphones. And that's just, again, that is just a part of good mastering. You need to do multi sort of channel limiting and compression
Party
stuff.
starts when I arrive. Crash my car, now I won't miss it. I ain't asked for your permission. Every night feel like a goddamn movie. Everyone trying to act like they knew it. My songs ever won, but it sounds like junk. Brain is foggy, hold the Uptown Funk. Lost my phone, but I ain't going home. It's someone found a plug, I'm about to short circuit. Like a door, this is push me, pull right through. Ticket says one, but I pull up with the whole crew. It don't matter, no one bit. $1 billion pigs fucking up shit. Nothing in the highway, we do it my way. If you make me cry, then we toss you out real quick. I do what I want, cause I ain't asked for your permission. Yeah, we do what we want, cause we ain't asked for your permission.
Dope. It doesn't fuck around. This track is straight to the point. It cuts you. It cuts you across the mouth, man. It's sharp. It's abrasive. It's saying, I don't need your permission to do shit. You know, the music matches the lyrics very well. And there's like a sass and an attitude to the way that Justin is singing in this as well, which I have a lot of love for. I think it sounds like someone who just genuinely does not want to deal with your stuff right now and just wants to go and have fun and sort out the problems tomorrow, you know? How do you describe this section?
We know we're not here for long, so we block it out, yeah, all night long. Give it a month and my problems won't matter. I'm breaking all the laws and I'm only getting badder. 1 a.m. I wanna call it quits cause 2 damn early and
They're like, it reminds me of being in a club with the music that's really, really, really loud. So like, in effect, this is like this is a very realistic experience.
hits on 3 drinks deep, make a 4 bucks deep, and fuck all my problems, I ain't about to solve them. Go uptown to feel alive, the party starts when I arrive. Crash my car, now I won't miss it. I ain't asked for your permission. Every night feel like a goddamn movie. Everyone trying to act like they knew it.
You've got this consistent messaging there, this consistent tone in that range, which is just a constant assault to your senses. Like, this is me. I'm the life of the party. I crashed my car. I'm doing this. You got that like you got that the whole time, and it's just so true to the message of the song.
But it sounds like junk. Brain is
It is
foggy,
unforgiving.
lost my phone, but I ain't going home. It's someone found a plug, I'm about to short circuit. Like a door, this is push me, pull right through. Ticket says one, but I pull up with the whole crew.
This is the song that Justin wanted to make. Oh,
Fountain of knowledge. I always crave healthy food, take care of myself and exercise. I never have disturbing thoughts. I've never seen a stupid horse. Live in the present, hope for the future. My songs are good because I love my producer. Future's full of light and laughter. The future's full of light and laughter. The future.
I kind of dig that we're having a break from that. That was very full on with the even with the synth going across the headphones like that. That was a lot to take in, and especially when it's been mixed so that you can hear all the different elements. It's an explosion of musical color. It's just it's just wild, man.
And laughter. The future's full of light 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 and laughter. 1 a.m. I wanna call it quits cause 2 damn early and I'm only playing hits. On 3 drinks deep, make a 4 bucks deep, and fuck all my problems, I ain't about to solve them. Go uptown to feel alive. The party starts when I arrive. Crash my car, now I won't miss it. I ain't asked for your.
What was that quiet bit about? I kind of zoned out recovering from like the assault on the senses that like
Laughter. The future's full of light and laughter. The future's
the future's full of light and laughter and stuff like life
full of
laughter.
light and laughter. The future's full of light and laughter. The future's full of light and laughter.
Again, like, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing at all. I think it's great that we have this song in here, especially with it contrasts well with Lucid Dreams and Hop Hooray and Levitating and even Paper Planes, but it's a lot.
Future's full of light and laughter. The future's
It's a lot shoved into this little package, you know?
1 a.m. I wanna call it quits cause 2 damn early and I'm only playing hits. On 3 drinks deep, make a 4 bucks deep, and fuck all my problems, I ain't about to solve them. Go uptown to feel alive. The party starts when I arrive. Crash my car, now I won't miss it. I ain't asked for your permission. Every night feel like a goddamn movie. Everyone trying to act like they knew it. My songs ever won, but it sounds like
What is that sound I can hear right there?
lost my phone, but I ain't going home. It's someone found a plug, I'm about to short circuit. Like a door, this is push me, pull right through. Ticket says one, but I pull up with the whole crew.
Oh, that was some more vocal modulation, upper range or something like that. Wow, Justin, that was a lot, bud. Wow. There's so many words to take in, and even though they were repeated, like I could hear the lyrics clearly. Don't get me wrong, you're pronouncing them well. What was it like? I need a moment to recover from that. Like, congrats to your production and mastering, my man. It's a hell of an album so far, you know, like to get it that loud through headphones without clipping, without there being any sort of really abrasive distortion. That is some magical stuff in a studio. But also I think it's because you're choosing elements that fit well together and don't kind of argue with one another. Again, that's the power of EQing, but it's also the power of good compositional skills. We gotta shake it off. Oh, there's a hell of a resonant bass, isn't it? An 808 or something like that. Just like, who thinks to do that? Who thinks to put that kind of delay, that kind of effects chain on vocals, like in the beginning of a verse? Like, there's no intro core, and we come with that. It's so it's. I would argue it's probably quite original, and I would say that it's because I just haven't really heard vocals being done like this before. I've done 1,500 to 2,000 song reviews at this point. It doesn't sound bad, man. It sounds alright. You know, there's nothing musically wrong with it. Oh, a little soda can. Oh, so you shake a person up and get them wound up so that they act on your behalf and you manipulate people? Is that basically what I'm understanding from this? Or are we talking about something else entirely here? Are we talking about something else entirely here? We might be talking about something else. I'm not sure if I can talk about on YouTube, because this is going to be going onto YouTube at some point. Yeah, I see you. That's a hell of a sexy synth though, man. Wah, 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 wah. Nice development there with that slow build and that kind of stage synth there with the shake, 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 shake. You know, what's you? What is that? Shake, shake, shake mixes in me? I don't understand what's being said there, but that's okay. I'm liking these sounds as well. Like, kind of sounds like a soda can, you know what I mean? It's just little touches that mean a lot. Oh, there's a lot of darkness to this track, my dude. Like, can I just listen to that part again? What are they saying there? Pour it slow, make it two. Pour it slow, make it two. Interesting. I don't know how to take this one. This is a bit of a tricky one for me. Like, I don't dislike it. It's just like the lyrics are a little bit open-ended for me. There's a shit ton of bass going through. There's a shit ton of sub bass in that synth right there. It is that on a car stereo. If you put that through subs, you know, it is gonna make the car just explode. It's explode, dude. It's gonna be wild. Yeah, again, like there's careful consideration put into the different vocal tonalities there, the way that he's communicating in it, the kind of the interaction going between the two people on the sides and then in the center. Again, very different to Uptown Funk. Dude, I'm gonna need to have a I'm gonna need a breather after this. Has been a hell of an album, dude. Shape of You, and we're continuing with those basses. Where are we going with this? I'm having a sort of a unique reaction to this where it's kind of the amount of force within those synths there is intimidating.
Made a quick buck from a long fuck, and I hate that I do it again. Flash me to the worlds when I bend it and curled, and I hate that I did it again. I repeat the cycle, I'm stuck in a spiral. Being reduced to reuse your recycle. My body is broken, it's past its revival. Feeling so guilty, put me on trial. Can't close like the holes that were dug up and open. Dry glue on my mouth cause I shouldn't have spoken. Hurting so much but deserve all the pain. Don't feel anger or stress, people call me insane. Started writing songs, see if people will joke. Is it school only listen when I look like a joke? Jobs that search up my name only find my dumb songs. And no question about it, think I did something wrong.
Selling my whole body, but not trying to sell my soul. Don't want love from my friends, rather think I'm uncontrolled.
Oh, okie dokie. What is this? That got real dark at the start, didn't it? Like, let's go back again, one more time.
I repeat the cycle, I'm stuck in a spiral. Being reduced to reuse your recycle. My body is broken, it's past its revival. Feeling so guilty, put me on trial. Can't close like the holes that were dug up and open. Dry glue on my mouth cause I shouldn't have spoken. Hurting so much but deserve all the pain. Don't feel anger or stress, people call me insane. Started writing songs, see if people will joke. Is it school only listen when I look like a joke? Jobs that search up my name only find my dumb songs. And no question about it, think I did something wrong.
Selling my whole body, but not trying to sell my soul. Don't want love from my friends, rather think I'm uncontrolled. My temple is burning and I'm letting it fall. Watching it crumble, let's cremate the wall.
He isn't messing around with this song, eh? Is this like something he's experienced in real life where like he's been like just sort of like psychologically screwed with and used and abused by people?
Selling my whole body, but not trying to sell my soul. Cannot see the shapes of you, I only see a hole. My temple is burning.
Can I see the shape of your I only see a hole?
I'm letting it fall. Watching it crumble and dissolve and dissolve.
Slept in piss every day for 2 torturous months. Can't trust myself after mistakes I only made once. You can take a filtered shower, but it won't wash down your filth. Try to find the right answers, but it's hidden under myths. People accuse me of starving and changing too much, too little. It always comes back to me. I feel I'm never enough because I could do this, or I could have done that, or I made a mistake and I can't use the past. I try to live slow, but the world's been so fast.
Now this, I think I understand why there's some stuff going on with the mixing of this. It's because there's all this rumination going on in their head. And like, it gets too noisy and you can't hear anything and it's overwhelming. I get it. There's a severe amount of sort of cognitive dissonance going on here with this track, and that's part of the reason why there's a lot of distortion within this. I have a feeling this could actually be chronological.
Get up and rest, I just want it all to stop. All to stop.
See that?
One day when you're born, you're given your temple in its purest form. A spiritual place so pristine, so divine. The finest architecture, finely intertwined. Silent the sheep get no love from the lamb. I pledge allegiance to old Uncle Sam. Just follow the rules and then pass your exam. Rip up your pages, the printer's jam. Small inconvenience causing people to panic. Just walk over the cars when you're stuck in traffic. I'm losing my memory, isn't it tragic? Tell me your story, I'll only hear static.
Selling my whole body, but not trying to sell my soul.
Selling my whole body but not trying to sell my soul.
From my friends, rather think I'm uncontrolled. My temple is burning and I'm letting it fall. Watching it crumble, let's cremate the wall. Selling my whole body, but not trying to sell my soul. Cannot see the shapes of you, I only see a hole. My temple is burning and I'm letting it fall. Watching it crumble and dissolve and dissolve. Dissolve.
This here is probably one of my this is one of the rawest communications of emotion here that I've heard in my time as a music reviewer. This is honestly probably one of my most this would be in my top 10 tracks just for how raw and unfiltered it is. It is as clear a glimpse into someone's life as you're going to get. I don't know whether this is something that's happened to Justin or if he's describing what it is for someone else, but it sounds like it's something that's happened to him. This is the kind of music that you can really only make if you have a personal experience like this yourself. And holy shit, man. Excuse the language, it's just, what an album. This hit me like a freight train. you know, I'm starting to get it. Like at the start, there was like maybe like you know, like they were getting together and starting to know each other, setting boundaries, you know, like this is what I want. If you're a part of it, you know, you want me back or whatever. Maybe this was the breakup or something like that. But then things didn't really necessarily end. And so they were levitating because they came back together and Hop Hooray, and everyone was just going down the stream, whatever, you know. And then Lucid Dreams is they're dreaming about that person. Or maybe they did break up and then the lucid dream was about that person and they did get back together, and Uptown Funk was like, hey, I'm back to normal, everyone. I'm charismatic again. I'm enjoying things, and Shake It Off was like, oh, hey, where you want to sort of have that? Like, I'll either solve your problems, whatever, man. And then Shape of You is just feeling used by that person because of all the stuff that happened before it. Diamonds featuring Knock Monster. I could be completely wrong there. I could be overanalyzing it, and that's fine.
Everything you love can fit in your hands. If you dream, you can travel the lands.
Time has got me sentimental, yeah. Shining like a buried treasure, yeah. Just standing out looking.
And we're back to the catchy stuff after Shape of You. What? What is this? How are we going back to this now? Oh, okay. Boom, 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 boom. You got like a 4-chord progression here, funky kind of drum beat, nice and punchy there. Nice resonant bass line. Okay.
Life is just a precious little diamond. Life is just a precious little diamond.
There's a dissonance there. They're not paying attention to that scale there, and I think that's done on
It's
purpose.
just a precious little diamond. Life is just a precious little diamond.
I don't think it's meant to resolve either. I think it's deliberately chromatic. It's meant to be outside the scale because this is not like necessarily a happy situation.
Knights and cherished friends, they will be there at the end, finding all the hidden gems. Mother Nature simple baby, fly us out and let's go down. See the trees and touch the ground. Feel the wind and hear the sounds. Adventure, thrill, it's all around. Baby, building castles, break the sand. Eat the rich, destroy the brands. This is it, I'm playing tag. The best moments are never planned. Life is just a precious little diamond. Life is just a precious little diamond. Life is just a precious little diamond. Life is just a precious little diamond.
Yeah, like that little high harmony on there helps the vocals to stand out. We're just repeating that line over and over.
Life is just a precious little diamond. 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 Yes, fly high, angel. Shine bright, diamond. You are all a precious stone in my heart. Diamonds.
What am I supposed to do with that song? Like, I like it. I dig it. I'm trying to sort of connect the pieces of the puzzle, then it's very difficult for me to do it. Nog Monster was another really dope addition to it. Like,
Can fit
Yeah, shining like a buried treasure, yeah. Just standing out looking ethereal. Do you really love me for real, or do you just love my diamonds like the moon in the sky?
oh, I get it. So we're going back to Paper Planes where they just like, you love the person for their life as opposed to for themselves. Is that correct? There's no authenticity to experience. And people just want your diamonds and they don't really value you as a person. Is that what we're talking about?
But you can only see in the nighttime. Baby girl, let the sun shine. Look like a gemstone, but my soul is brimstone.
Oh.
I'm so beautiful, but you don't really notice, no. Just keep me wrapped around your finger for a while. Your love is
precious little diamond.
Life is just a precious little diamond. Okay. So, like, obviously we're into conclusion time now. Because it is time for... we've listened through this album. And this has been a very different experience to me than Toontown. This was a far more serious affair for me. Although I could have misinterpreted Trust in Justin. Again, Frogpop, I think, is sort of more a philosophy towards the life that they're living, in the sense that, like, when we talked about going down the stream and sort of like these dreams and levitating and shake it off and shape of you, to me, like, this sort of like describes the thought processes and the psychological elements of the relationship that they have, where, like, basically, paper planes, you think, oh, the person's in control of the situation. Yeah, I want to do all this stuff. And then you just realize you're being used by people without maybe even being made aware of it, because a lot of people are able to manipulate very, very easily, and they're very adept at it. And it's often until it's too late that you know what happened. And you look at, like, the Hip Hop Hooray, where, like, that kind of sort of uncertainty is kind of normalized, as if to be like, hey, you should, it's okay to not know what's going on, and to, like, just be told to just enjoy life and get over stuff. And then Levitating and Lucid Dreams and Uptown Funk and Shake It Off. And Shape of You is that frustration, and maybe Diamonds is realizing just, like, that you identified exactly what it is specifically that they want. Or maybe, like, Shape of You is just maybe Shape of You is the end, and Diamonds is just the final mention. Diamonds, I love all you angels. I really hope that this isn't referring to someone else that may have passed away or something like that, especially after Shape of You, where the person sounds like they're having a complete breakdown. I don't know. There's a lot. I'm going to be thinking about this for the rest of the day. Typically, like, if you see someone doing a music review, they have time after the music review to, like, to think about, put their thoughts down on paper and actually articulate. And that usually takes a day or two to write a review. So for me, here, listening to it in real time, maybe I'm not as articulate, but that's fine. Ultimately, I think that this was a nice experiment, and it's nice being maybe not the best word. What I mean is that, like, I think it was another example of Justin Abisror's creativity, his finesse, and the way that he sort of communicates to people, his finesse in the sense that he knows how to put these different tracks together and to articulate himself well, and he knows how to get the right people to help him to get the music produced that he wants. And there were times where I didn't understand why things were as the way they are, like Uptown Funk. Like, did I enjoy Uptown Funk? Like, I think enjoy is like, I understood the song, I understood why it was good. It was just very full on for me. Maybe that wasn't necessarily my favorite song, just because of how abrasive those higher tonalities were, especially when I'm wearing headphones like this, where they're more bass heavy than anything like that. So I'm more likely to be completely flattened by the sub bass resonance than anything. Lucid Dreams, I didn't really understand why we went into that chorus the way we did. Like, I can kind of understand it, but not completely. But I mean, aside from that, I loved it. I loved the coloration of the songs. I liked how, for the most part, the musical sort of progressions, the chord progressions, and the instrument choices and stuff reflected what was required to get the themes of the lyrics across. I liked the variety of different vocal stylings from Justin Abisror. I enjoyed I enjoyed the authenticity of this performance, how open he was with people. I think ultimately, I think that it was nice to actually just hear another release from Justin, especially in a day and age like this, where it can be difficult to justify releasing an album just because of the costs involved and all that kind of stuff. But I think when you've got a concept like this, where he's describing issues of, like, being used by people, emotional manipulation, psychological manipulation, the physical attraction, how that can get played around with, sort of coming to terms with the decisions you're making in your own life, and, like, the understanding of what your life means to you, as well as who you are as a person, and coming to terms with the powers that you have, and the need of others versus the needs of yourself, and keeping yourself okay. These are all things that were explored in a way that was very mature, and I think that despite some times where there was some really sort of almost avant-garde stuff going on with some of the song choices, and it was never a predictable experience. I nonetheless had a great time. So this is effectively my review of Justin Abisror's Frogpop. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out Justin Abisror's various social medias, and like it will be on Spotify and SoundCloud and all that kind of stuff. And stay cool, stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need all the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you in the next review. Spider hands out.